Oh, bring them in, bring them in, bring the little ones, the field of sin. Oh, bring them in. Oh. Bring them in, bring the little ones to Jesus. Yeah, that's a good song right there. Oh, hello, everybody. Sirwalterj Jones Show. I'm he. It is the midday connection, baby. How y'all with us? Come on in. It's time for another Sirwalterj Jones Show. The water is fine. Got a good one here to talk about. Having to deal with some of you out there in Radio Land. Back in the day, Kendrick Brooks. I'm sorry, Scales. I saw Darius and I saw you, and then I put your name with Darius. My bad. Get to see Victoria Dubois and the actress. Hey, we talk about money. Something that I don't have a whole lot of, but I got a little bit. Y'all want along? Can't we all get along? You can't. I got $1 in my pocket. The almighty dollar. Oh, I dropped that one. So I got another one. The almighty dollar. Okay, Rams, it's so good to see you there. This right here has caused wars and rumors of wars. This right here, Kendrick, has caused separation, divorce. It has separated men from their children. This right here is used to cause also peace and bribery. This right here is used to get a leg up or to win elections, whether it's a state, a local, or national elections. Yeah, this right here is used also to get into a woman's cavities, and get into a man's a brain cell. Yeah, this right here is the almighty dollar. It is filthy liquor, and those of you who love it, the Bible says, the love of this is the root of all evil. This right here. But this money here, the Bible says, also answers all things. Right here. All right? And today we keep hearing gospel of prosperity here. It's not so much about salvation. No, it's not so much about repentance and holy living. It's about this. The almighty dollar. There's got to be a dead person on here in order for it to be worth something. All right? A dead person who was elected to an office. You understand what I'm saying? For it to be worth something. This dollar here is what has and what will cause many wars to come. All right? But some of you are walking in a state of poverty, and you don't know it. Okay? You don't know it. Some of you do know it, and you're trying to figure out how to get out of it. And so let me give you some foundational points here that have helped me to go day by day by just doing just little things to help me figure out my life and my financial situation, what I lost and what I getting ready to get to come in. Okay, my going out and my coming in and what have you has been affected by what I'm about to read in the scripture and how I looked at church, especially the black church, how I looked at the Democratic Party, okay, how I looked at where I lived, what neighborhood I lived, how I looked at my parents and my siblings, you understand? Okay, how important school was to me. All of those things affected me financially. You get what I'm saying? And so how much stock I put into not just my life today, but my future. And I often talk about how there's a difference between a poor person, a rich person, and a wealthy person. There's a difference between the three, but believe it or not, a poor person and a rich person think alike. They are almost the same person. You're like, how's that possible? if the poor and the rich are the same, why is one rich and why is the other one poor? It's all about mentality. The poor person can actually switch his mentality to become rich, and it may happen over time. But this rich person is a person many times, good to see you, Loretta Johnson, many times got their wealth by nothing that they did themselves. They might have been born with a silver spoon. Or they might have come into some wealth, maybe through the lottery, or they may just had a lucky shot and then bam, they became rich. All right, you understand what I'm saying? But the way they spend their money like a poor person. They think poor, and before you know it, many rich will become poor. Those who win the lotteries, as they say, it only takes a few months, and they are poor. Those who have these multi-million-dollar NBA contracts and what have you, once they retire, they are poor after a couple years, some shorter than that. All right, why? Because rich people and poor people, they think alike. All right, now then there's the wealthy. Poor people operate check by check. Rich people, they live year by year or fiscal year by fiscal year. You understand? That's the way rich people think. Okay, and operate. But the wealthy, they plan generation to generation. I'm not so much, I'm thinking about my son and my daughter's future, absolutely. But my bigger focus is my grandson's future. You understand? I'm thinking about my grandson's wealth and his stability, and if he wants to go to college, all right, and his health. I'm thinking about all the things that I need to be doing to make sure all my ducks in a row so that my grandson could make it in the world that I leave for him. You understand? I didn't forget my kids, all right, but a good man stores up treasures for his children's children. You get what I'm saying? So if I'm trying to help my grandson, I automatically pulling up my children. Y'all understand what I'm saying? All right. So the wealthy thinks about the next generation to come. So the baby boomers were thinking about the Generation Xers. They wasn't so much thinking about just themselves and just what's going to happen tomorrow. They were thinking about the generation to come. You understand? All right. So that's what's happening here. And so how do you get out of this? Well, I want to see if we can delve on the aspect of spirit, because notice I said the spirit of poverty, which is in the title here. At least on Facebook it's the title. Sometimes I change titles on YouTube. Hi YouTube, y'all doing good? It's good to see y'all. Love y'all's comments, boy. I'm gonna join you more often. All right. There are different spirits. There's about 20 spirits in the scriptures. Grandkids' future. I have 6. Come on, Kendrick. You got 6. Bow y'all heads and pray for Kendrick. That boy got 6. He got 6 grandkids. Oh my God. I feel for you. All right. Here are the different types of spirits in the Bible. Okay, because some of you says, y'all, there's no such thing as a spirit of poverty. Well, the Bible didn't say anything about a spirit of poverty. True. What we've done was we come up with these names and titles and all kinds of stuff when we are preaching. We call everything an anointing, and the anointing this, anointing that. I'm a sub teacher. I have to work for the next 10 years to receive a decent retirement. All right, Laura Lynn, good to see you here. Yeah, I know what you're saying here. All right, let's see if I can help you here. I don't know if I can, but let me see if I can. Again, this right here is mental. It's psychology, just like religion. It's psychology. Oppression is psychology. Racism is psychology. You understand? Success is psychology. So a person is wealthy, and I consider myself wealthy because it's about the psychology. I may not have as much money as the wealthy men and women in the world, but I'm wealthy because everything starts with a thought. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he, and he began to build wealth. It may happen over time, but he's got a foundation in him. There's a seed planted in him. It's right here, okay? And that thing will eventually starts to produce and create witty inventions and great ideas and brilliant moments, okay, and all these things. Right here, he got a wealth gene right there, and you just got to activate it. Some of you don't even realize it's right there. And y'all doing some brilliant things on Facebook and social media, meaning you're saying brilliant things, but you ain't doing none of them. You're saying a whole lot of smart stuff, but you're not writing any of it. You're not implementing any of it. You're preaching it and teaching it, but you're not making money on any of it. So what's happening? All right. So it makes no sense. When information is the most lucrative business in the world, is information. Do you not understand what I'm saying? The most lucrative business in the world is selling information. Brandon Williams says, man, what? That's nothing compared to my dad and my mom. They have 40. Good Lord, grandkids. None of them can carry speakers. Man, Kendrick, I feel sorry for you. Yes, success is psychological, Garcia. That's it. Here are the types of spirits. Okay, for those of you who think that we're coming up with words. Sometimes we are, but some of these are synonymous with each other. Good to see you, Marlon. Spirit of heaviness, spirit of bondage, spirit of error. You have a wounded spirit, evil spirit, unclean spirit, spirit of slumber, spirit of deep sleep, spirit of your mind, spirit of the Antichrist, a hasty spirit, broken spirit, haughty spirit, spirit of disobedience, spirit of fear, lying spirit, spirit of whoredom, spirit of divination, spirit of infirmity, seducing spirit. These are all spirits that are lined out in the text. You can find them all in the Bible. All right. I did the show. Go on my YouTube channel and you'll see the show I called you have a something spirit. I don't remember what the name of that show. Just type in spirits, the Sirwalterj show, and I'll break all these spirits down. I think it was the show I did where the preacher told the woman that she had a B spirit, a B spirit. Yeah, I think that was that show. Okay, so go there. Yeah, contrite spirit, Garcia. There you go. Okay, this is what David was saying. Okay, and some of these words. Some of these words I use the NLT, others I use the King James one as well. All right. Yeah, you remember that show, Marlon? Okay, so I believe that there are some which is related to the spirits I just mentioned. I believe that there are some people who have a poverty spirit of poverty. The spirit of distraction. Yeah, it's a spirit of poverty. It was called There Is a B Spirit. Yeah, that's the one. That's the show. And I did it on the whiteboard. Okay. I want to read Proverbs chapter 6, which is something very familiar to all of you, I'm hoping. And if it's not familiar to you, then I need you to start studying a little bit more, okay? Yeah, that was Apostle Travis Jennings. Yes, there it is. So type in Travis Jennings, Sirwalterj show, and then you will see that show. My child, if you have put up security, now watch this. Now this is dealing with co-signing. I have a relative who asked me, will I co-sign for them, and I almost cussed them out. Yeah. Okay, maybe I didn't, but I wanted to say something more harsher than no. Will you co-sign? No, I will not. Not today, not tomorrow, and not ever. I will not co-sign for you. I don't care how close you. I don't care if the same blood is going through your vein as it is mine. I do not co-sign for anyone. And I stopped asking people to co-sign for me in my 20s. Yes, impoverished mindset. Garcia Johnson said, come on, man. I'm so glad you're here. You teach this with me, will you please? Impoverished mindset. That's it right there. All right? I says, I will not co-sign for you. I cannot. It is against my religion to co-sign for you. I can't. The only people who I believe can get away with co-signing for each other is a husband and a wife. Why? Because you're not twain. You're not two people. You are one. So if I'm co-signing for my wife, I'm co-signing for myself. You understand what I'm saying? Other than that, I don't suggest anyone co-sign unless outside of marriage, maybe a business partner. If you're going into business with each other, you have a contract and you have a partnership. You're registered as a LLC, a partnership, and you need some equipment, blah, 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 blah. So you may co-sign. But in that case, you really don't have to because you're going under an LLC. So the corporation itself is doing the signing and not you. So if you co-sign it, then you are a sole proprietor. You act like a sole proprietorship. That's a whole nother thing. Okay. All right. So Here's what the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 6. My child, if you have put up security for a friend's debt, or agreed to guarantee the debt of a stranger, if you have trapped yourself by your agreement and are caught by what you said, follow my advice and save yourself. It says, for you have placed yourself at your friend's mercy. Now swallow your pride. Go and beg to have your name erased. Don't put it off. Do it now. Don't rest until you do it. Save yourself like a gazelle escaping from a hunter, like a bird fleeing from a net. All right? Not a net, but a net. Because the net will come in and say, from me? All right? Yeah. He says, don't do it. Don't co-sign. Don't do it. Don't do it. And if you did that, go down there to the car lot, go down there to the mortgage place, go down there to the bank, and take your name off of there. Say, I'm sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to. Take my name off of this, because it's getting ready to bite you. And too many people have lost their shirts co-signing for their own children, co-signing for their brothers and their sisters, co-signing for their own parents, or parents co-signing for their children. Don't do it. Don't do it. I asked my dad to co-sign for me when I was 21 for a Corvette. He cussed me out with the Bible. My father spoke so badly against co-signing that I have never even thought about co-signing for anyone. Come on, Marlon. Yeah, that's it. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right? It's dangerous to do that. And I mentioned Annette, and here she popped up. She popped up. Who tagged her? Okay? Said don't do it. Because it could ruin you. You could lose everything at the behest. Okay, so then he says here, take a lesson from the ants, you lazy bones. He says, learn from their ways and become wise. I like the way King James says it. Okay. Though they have no prince or governor or ruler to make them work, they labor hard all summer. Ain't nobody telling them to work. Why? Remember that thing? It was over here. There was something innate in all of you. There was something there that what we have regulated wealth to is church from the hours of 11 to about 1:30 on a Sunday, and you do this. And then wealth and riches will come to you for all week long. That's what wealth is taught. That's how it's taught. Not just in the African American community. I mean, it's taught in religion, period. But I'm talking to an African American audience. So your wealth is through giving on a Sunday. Okay? But he says, consider the way of the ant, thou sluggard. Okay? Good to see you, Johnny Lingo. All right? And he says, the ant don't need nobody to tell him to work. You understand? But you need to go somewhere for somebody to tell you how much to sow seeds and give here and give sacrificially and all this stuff. But Natasha says, I used to work for a credit union and issued loans, and we had a simple page that the co-signers had to sign, and it said, paraphrasing, hey, we will take you for broke without you knowing this loan has defaulted. Still want to coast? Oh, my God. See Natasha? She trying to help y'all. Tasha, you just saved about 1,000 of my listeners. Thank you, girl. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right? Consider the way of the ant, thou sluggard. Though they have no prince or governor or ruler to make them work, they labor hard all summer, gathering food when? In the winter. They gather food for, the winter, not in the winter. They gather, grasshoppers try to gather in the wintertime. Well, they can't because they don't make it. They don't make it. They dead in the winter, all right? He says, but you lazy bones, how long will you sleep? When will you wake up? A little extra sleep, a little more slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. Then poverty will pounce on you like a bandit. Scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. Ooh, to the wee. Then he goes on and changes the subject. All right? Sleep. You are asleep. Now, here he's talking about physical rest and slumber, but you can actually use this for the whole mentality of being asleep as well. Many of you are asleep, and money is flowing around you. The ability, information to get wealth is all around you, and passive income opportunities have been pushed in your face every single day, and you ignore it because some of you have a job and you think that that job is going to bring you security. I'm going to have to bust a bubble. All right. Co-signers are responsible for that debt. It shows up on your credit report. Yep, sure do. Sure do. All right. So be careful. All right. So the ability to get wealth is all around us, all on Facebook. When you go on Facebook, you'll see an ad there. It says sponsored. It says sponsored. It's little small letters. Sponsored. Okay. And then there's the ad. There's a write-up. And most times there's a video. And then there are the comments below. All right. Sometimes what they look like that because they are pushed to look normal so that you can look at it. If it was a commercial or something like that, you'll be poised to ignore it. But it is an ad. And the comments and people share it and like it and do emojis towards it. And what is that doing? It's building up the algorithm for the person who put the ad up there. And 1 out of 10 people may go and leave Facebook and go over to the website and look at the product and possibly buy the product. It's a great thing. I use it a lot. Facebook ads, YouTube ads, okay? You are buying these products, but not studying how these people get you to buy the products. You could have the same products. I've seen some of the most amazing, the word I'll use all the time to express my utmost feeling is brilliant. I've seen some of the most brilliant banter come from you who are watching right now, and you've been speaking brilliantly like this since I've known you. Some of you, I've known you for over 10 years on social media, and you've made not one red dime on your ability to write like you do. You've made no money on it. It doesn't impress me. Yeah, you can add your children as authorized users on your credit to improve your. Yes, you can, Brandon. You can add your children on that, which can be a problem. They call that what do they call that? It's slipping right now. And when it was right there. It was right there. When you do that, yes. But what happens is the children don't understand the importance of how to protect credit, and they see that and they go to splurging. You understand? That's why it's important to teach a child how to build his own credit instead of always trying to help a kid out by putting your name when you Amber, not authorized users. No, it's called something else. It's called something else. It shows up on your credit report, thus allowing them to build credit. Yes, it does. And then once you take your name off of it, that child's credit score go pew. Every time I pause, the word pops up and then it leaves. Y'all ever had that problem? Somebody gonna type it here. I know they are. Because what you can do is you can actually buy other credit cards that have a great history behind them. You can buy them from people. They sell them, and then they can add your name on them. As soon as they add your name over time, your 500 credit score can go up to thank you, Deatrice. Whew. It was bothering me. I knew you would come through for me. It's called trade lines. Trade lines can work to your advantage if you and the person know each other. Oh boy, they could kill you when you do these and you're not smart enough. Number 3, they don't always work. They're because this person's trade line have a good trade history, don't mean that it's going to work on everybody's credit. It has a lot to do also with the person who wants to be on that trade line as well. All right. So you may have a low credit score, and this guy got 800 trade line credit, and then you try to get your name on that trade line, and you wonder, I got 500 credit score, it only went up to 550. Why is that? Well, it's because you ain't did the homework. They still have that build credit. Yeah, have to build credit. You add them as an authorized user. Yeah, I started off with my son could not get credit prior to that. Yep. That's how it works. I did a secured credit card for some of my kids. Kendrick Scales, see, now you talking. Let me tell you, Kendrick, since this is a generational wealth class, y'all, so let me help y'all out. What Kendrick said is very important. Richard, credit is king. Yes. But I want to personally thank you for inspiring me to continue writing my book. Yes, you'll get a free copy when I... Thank you, Richard Young. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I want that copy. Yes, let me read it. Credit was not... I got so much to say about this. Let me go back to Kendrick. Let me tell y'all what I did to get my credit up. Okay? You can also buy your child a gas credit card to establish their credit. Yeah, so when they are adults, they start off with a high, and will not need you to, come on, Brandon, I'm trying to tell y'all, children must be taught responsible, or co-signing will destroy the parent and the credit. Come on, Chuck Longstreet, good to see you, man. One of the greatest DJs that I didn't know he was until I saw him. I saw him DJ, and I was like, and he's good. All right, let me show you what I did. My credit score was low, like in the mid 500s. You understand what I'm saying? Like in the mid 500s. So what did I do? I went to my bank. I went to Bank of America. I walked in there and I said, this one is all broken to pieces. I got a new one that came in. And I said, I need a credit card, but I need a secured card. And they said, okay, how much you want on that card? I had $300 on me. I said, I want a $300 secured card. See, because it's not really so much about your credit. It's about the cash. They want the cash. I said, so I got $300 in the account already. Pull the money from the account and tell your credit card department to pull that money and give me a secured card. Now, you still have to fill out a application, blah, blah, blah. But trust me, they will give it to you, all right? Because your cash deposit is the security. You understand? They not losing. They're not losing because you can't charge no more than $300 on that card. You can't because it cuts off at $300. So it's a win-win situation for them and for you. So what did I do for the next 2 years? I used that card faithfully. Whenever I went to a store, I didn't use cash. I used the card. Understand what I'm saying? Everything. Bubble gum, potato chips. I was always renting cars before I had a car. I was always renting cars. Secured cars are cash without interest. Yeah. All right. I don't care what. I went to the movies with this card. I don't care what. Sometimes I even maybe gave an offering or something, Giveify and all this stuff with that one card. I did that for 2 years straight and did not realize I had never checked my credit. I wasn't really checking my credit. All right. I just was doing this because I knew that I wasn't going to make no type of big purchase for a couple years. The problem with poor people is that you're not patient. You're not patient. You want things to happen right away. I got 550 credit score. I want to buy this house up the street. I got to get my credit up real quick, so let me go and get me a trade line, and then let me go do this, let me go do that. And the banks look at your credit report and says, wait a minute, you just had 550 when you was here 60 days ago. How you had 550 60 days ago, now you got 800 score? Really? The banks ain't that crazy. They know you got a trade line going on, because all it takes is for that person who got the trade line to cut you off, and then your 800 goes right back down. Okay? So for 2 years, I said, Walter, don't make no purchase for the next 2 years. I'm talking about major purchase like a car. And I was patient. And I kept doing this. My 550, it didn't take 2 years. It took about 6 months. And my 550 went up to 600, 620, 630, 640, 650, 670. All right? Why? I was using one card. Not a whole bunch of cards. I wasn't applying for this and applying for that, because all that is a ding on you, and they get you at Best Buy and all these other places. You go buy some batteries, and then they want you to get an extended warranty, or they want you to get this store credit card and all that stuff. All these are dings, 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 dings on your credit report, and it's hurting you. All right? So be patient. Stop being so hungry and greedy, and just use that one card. One card, one card. Teach your children this. I taught my daughter this. I taught my son this. One card. Use it for cash, and every month faithfully pay it off. Don't wait till the day is due. Pay it off, but pay it twice a month. You're like, pay it twice a month? Yes. Pay it twice a month. Can somebody tell me in the comments why you should pay it twice a month? Great talk. I was able to build credit from no credit with secured a cell phone at 18, no CC required. I was not responsible enough to have a card at 18. All right, Ben, good to see you, man. Pull out your guitar, man. I want to hear you play. Yeah, I want to hear you play. Yeah, y'all understand what I'm saying? And I kept doing that, and it kept building my credit score. So what did I do? Then I signed up with FICO. I signed up with a FICO score. Be careful, because y'all got Credit Karma and Credit Sesame and all these things. Those are credit scores, yes, but they are not true to bigger purchases. Those scores will allow you to apply for credit cards. Yes, I will say that, some bank cards. And you definitely can get some great cards like Capital One, through Credit Karma. It's a City Corp, through Credit Karma. Some Bank of America cards through Credit Karma, stuff like that. Okay, but those are vanity scores. They're called vanity scores. All right. But when you want to go buy a house or a big ticketed item, they ain't pulling up your Credit Karma scores. No. No, they're not. They go into your FICO score 8 and 9 and 10 and stuff like that. They go into the big scores. You get what I'm saying? What are your thoughts on the app called Self? I don't know what that is. Where are you? Depends on who you're talking to. Dave Ramsey would disagree. That's only because he can afford to pay. Yeah, you responding to Richard. I'm not sure what Richard said. Okay, all right. So teach your kids how. Show them. Don't just tell them. Show them. Take them to the bank. Show them how finance work, and show them how to get a secured credit card in their name, not yours. You open up a bank account for them, and over time have them to get their own secured card, all right? And then start building that credit young. Do that now, and over time they will lean on their own, and then they can go down into the car lot themselves, and they will never have to ask you to co-sign anything, but teach them how to pay their bills on time. Pay it before. See, when a bill is due in my house, it's written in my phone. Okay, and many times it's written in two places. It's written in my phone, and it's written on the calendar that sits on my desk. You understand? So it's always in my face, and on my phone I get an alarm on my phone. All right, now I do not set the alarm for the day that the bill is due. I set the alarm for 2 days before it's due. Y'all understand that? So 2 days the alarm goes off, ding, ding, ding. This credit bill is due in 2 days. You understand? So I treat it like it's due when that alarm go off. And so when they go ding, right away I go into my account and pay the bill. That is off my brain now. Because what happens? You forget. You wake up and that bill is due today, and your alarm go off today. Y'all say, okay, I got the whole day to pay the bill. What happens if something happens? What happens if something happens? Okay, you get caught up. Your vicissitudes of life happen. You get busy doing this, and you're watching this TV show, and you forget all this stuff. You forget, and you didn't set no reminder in there. And then it's 12 o'clock midnight. You're like, oh my God, I didn't pay that bill. Guess what happens? Once this credit card bill is late, one day, your score, ask me how I know, your score can go down 100 points. Do you not understand the words that's coming out of my mouth? How do I know? Me? Because that happened to me last year. About a year ago, I forgot to pay my what was it? Capital One. I forgot to pay my Capital One card. Okay? I forgot. Even though it was in the phone, I might have been out of town. I don't remember what happened. And one day later, Pitts, I said, oh, let me pay this thing. I knew it wasn't going to work out, but let me pay it anyway. And then about, maybe 4 days later, because they hit FICO. They hit FICO, okay? When the bank reported it to the FICO.com, I got an app on my phone. I'm looking at the phone there, so I can't pull up. The app on my phone said there is a credit adjustment on your account. I'm like, I started crying because I knew what it was. No. And then I got an email. There's a credit adjustment on your account. Okay. And I went to the app. And that 700 score went down 100 points for one card. One. Because of one day. The more you secure on the card, the higher your come on. For one day. At Pitts, I cried like a baby. Cried like a baby. Now, you can't get that up overnight. It took me a couple months to get that back up to 100. You see what I'm saying? So you don't want to mess with that. Because what happened if I had made an arrangement to buy a big item and I was depending on that 700 score? All right, and I'm getting ready to a few days go and run my credit to get that item, and I forgot that one payment. That 700 went down to 600. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how I would have felt walking in that car lot or that house, that bank that is, whether it might have been a personal loan that I wanted, and it's like I can't get this loan because I was lazy one day. The Self app help you establish a savings account with the CD that you pay on. Yeah, there's a lot of those apps, Ruth. There's a lot of those apps, and some of them are very good, and they're really some of the best banks are online banks, because of the fees, no fees. All right, some of the best banks are the ones that are online. The banks that you've never heard of, they are the online ones. And if you want a great savings account with some type of return, a percentage of return, your usual bank don't pay you nothing. They pay you 0.1% interest. But some of these online banks will pay you 3 and 4. All right, so you just got to know how to shop around. We need to be owning more land in the black community. Owning property is an excellent tool. Brandon, that is true. African Americans built their wealth off of land and real estate. That's how your daddy built his wealth. That's how my father built his wealth, by owning land, and he still got the same land he bought, because land appreciates, especially when gentrification is coming through the neighborhood, which happened to us on the west side. So that property that the bank offered him $100,000 for, now the bank is offering him $1 million for. Why? Gentrification went through there. You see what I'm saying? So he's sitting on a nice piece of change. Same property. He wasn't selling it to nobody. All right? Not even a whole day. I know, I know the feeling. I'm 57 years old and I'm filing for bankruptcy next month. Yeah, that's not good. Not good. Bankruptcy should absolutely be the last resort, and I'm sure that's why you're doing it. it will never listen to those commercials that says we can get rid of bankruptcy, this and that. Oh, just let the commercials just talk. It should be the absolutely utmost last resort. I've never filed, even though I qualified for it, and sometimes I felt like I should have, and I waited and waited and waited and waited. I said, I will not do it, and I didn't do it. I'm glad I didn't. I used a chime. It's great for hiding money from the wife. I'm tagging the wife, right, Kendrick? Okay, so passive income. What is passive income? It's very important. Passive income is doing something one time and receiving the benefits from it for months, weeks, years, or a lifetime to come. It works in the music industry and in the movie producing industry and the TV producing industry. Those who are actors receive there's a difference between the movie and the music. The music is royalties, okay, and the music in the movie and TV is residuals. You understand? So they both do the same thing. They just have different terminology. Residual income, and I acted on a show in 1950 in a series, depending on how I negotiated with the production company. I am getting paid for the rest of my life through residual income because this TV show is still airing across the country, if not the world. That's residuals. I receive royalty checks as a songwriter. All right, but my song I wrote in 1985, and when it's played on the radio, whether it's on the jukebox, it may play in a commercial. God help me if it gets to if it's a second or two, it's played on the big screen, it's played in the elevator. I receive a royalty check by writing one song one time, and it pays me as long as the song is in rotation somewhere. You understand what I'm saying? And now we have the internet, so there are different fees that goes with that as well. YouTube pays a royalty for a song that someone else used as their background music in a YouTube vlogging video. I get the so that YouTuber monetizes their channel, but I get the check because it's my music playing in the background. Do you not understand what I'm saying? All right, so that's royalties, and that's a part of the passive income. For this book that I have here called the 4 Women That Men Desire, I wrote this book last year. It was released 1 year ago on Valentine's Day, and every month I receive a royalty check from who? Amazon.com. You understand? And they will continue to send me a check depending on how many times I advertise through word of mouth or I pay for advertisement. This book sells for $15, and Amazon pays me $6 for every book that is sold. It is a great deal, and if I had went through a traditional publisher, I would not get $6. No, I wouldn't. Amazon right now is the best way to go if you want to self-publish. Now, some will disagree with me, but go to my account, and you can disagree all you want to, but it's paying for these lights. You understand what I'm saying? We purchased 5.5 acres of land and then used that same land that we still own to purchase a second property. Come on, Brandon. Brandon, I'm glad you're here. Speaking of royalties and residuals, who knew that Janice DuBois was the writer of Moving On Up? Good stuff. Cedric, I thought you knew that. Donald Trump goes bankrupt all the time. Garcia, yes, he sure does. But bankruptcy in a corporate sense of the phrase is different from a personal bankruptcy. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because bankruptcy in a corporate state of a business state of mind is restructuring. It's smart. Personally, in many cases, it's not. There is a difference. Kendrick, that's That's why what? Oh, them folks trying to stop Bill Cosby. Yeah. Cedric, what he says, I knew she was a singer, but not the. Oh, I'm sorry, Cedric. Okay, yeah. I found out late in life that chick actually sat down and pinned that thing out. All right? So if she did her business correctly, she was being paid for that for the rest of her life. To the day she died, she's been paid, because that show still airs on my Fire Stick. Yeah. Brand, so good to see you. All right? So, passive income. So I came on here to rebuke y'all. I want to rebuke you. Now, I'm writing my second book, okay? And here's what my plan is: to restructure my time management. I go to bed late at night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, all right? Why? Because my brain operates better at night. I'm a better writer. I flow better at night, all right? Whether it's my music or whether it's my writing or whatever skills I got, I flow better at night. But what happens is, those who are wealthy, they get up early because there are more time in the day than it is the evening. So if my brain don't really activate and get going until after 8, 9 o'clock at night, I only have a few hours in the evening to produce, to create. All right? That's only a few hours. All those hours during the day, what was I doing? Okay? Because if I go to bed at 3, I go to bed at the time that some of y'all are getting up for work. So because I don't go to bed till almost the sun is rising, I don't get out of the bed until some of y'all are eating lunch and I'm getting out of the bed, because it's not healthy to only sleep for a couple hours. It's not healthy. So I get my full rest in it at night. But by the time I get up, many of the wealthy people had already did 80% of their day. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not operating like a wealthy person, time-wise. All right? I'm just not. Now, I've done wealthy things by creating passive income. All right? I get my income from writing my books, and then my income comes from my YouTube channels, and my income comes from me writing songs and performing the music, okay? And then I'm shooting some online courses for the book. I'm shooting online courses for my Bible studies, all right? So I've got multiple streams that are coming in, all right? And they'll grow, and they'll grow, and they'll grow over time, all right? Because they're all in the early stages of life, all right? So they're growing, they're growing, they're growing, all right? So I don't have a whole lot of money. Money will overtake me, though. Come towards the end of the year, money will overtake me because I have put so much time into building these streams of income. All right, so I put my money where my mouth is. But wealthy people wake up early in the morning. So aren't there some wealthy people who are nocturnal? Yes, Cedric, I've talked to some who are nocturnal like me. Notice what I said. I'm doing wealthy things and the monies do come in. But the big money can come in when you spend your time working all day long. Now look at how you work on your job. You get up. Now, I don't know, Cedric, your job or what have you, but look how the average person work on their job. They wake up at 6, 7 in the morning. Some people are already at work if they're on the first shift, and some of you work 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours on a job. And you work for someone else. Someone else is getting wealthy. This is his stream of income, is that you work for this person. You've worked 8, 9 hours for this person, and your money is capped. You understand? Your money is capped. And then when they give you your money, Uncle Sam took a lot of that. Now, I still have to pay taxes, so there's no one can escape that. But your money is capped, and you killed yourself for someone else. Then when you go home, you're too tired to work on anything for yourself, business-wise. You understand what I'm saying? Can you imagine reversing that, doing the inside out of that, and you're the boss, and you work for yourself, starting at 6 and 7 in the morning, and then you work 10 hours a day for something that you created for the public to want to buy? Can you imagine that? And I kept looking at that thing. Walter, wake up earlier and spend that time, recalibrate your mind to not be so nocturnal in your thinking, but try and find a way to cause your brain to trickleate during the day when the sun is up, so that you can work those 8, 9, 10 hours during the day, and then at nighttime you can then slow down, all right, and try and go to bed a little earlier. Now one can escape taxes, but 45. Cedric, focus. All right, so there are nocturnal millionaires out there, but many, it depends on their industry. There are people who have to work at night because it depends on their industry. I mean, you know, I was doing radio at night. That was my industry, just the way it was. I did what I call midnight manna. Well, you can't do midnight manna at 1 p.m. Okay, well, because I had an audience that was still up. They lived on the West Coast. Midnight here was 10 o'clock there. So I was like their 10 o'clock news, all right? And then there are those who was working that graveyard shift. And then there are others who were at home who just wanted to be up and be ministered to. So I had an audience that night, and they wanted me to do that every night. And I couldn't. Wealthy people value their time over everything. That's it. Because we're trading time for dollars. Understand? Trading time for dollars. Look at these books here. See all these books? See this here? All right. There's another over here. Okay. There's up there. All right. And then there's a library over there. All right. Wealthy people read. People ask me all the time, how you know so much? How you know so much? Because I'm constantly got my face in a book. Constantly. I'm always in a book. That's how the wealthy stay wealthy. All right. Some wealthy people read a book every single day. Others read a book once a week, depending on how thick the book is, how intriguing it is. All right. And the TV is turned off, and you get into your books. And they get up at 4 and 5 in the morning, and they read. And then they turn on the stock market report to see what's going on with that. And once they get what they want to, then they turn that tube off. They read the newspaper, all right? To try to figure out what's going on in the news, what have you, through the paper. But then they're done with all of that waste of time, and then they go back to figuring out, how can I make money today? How can I make money today? All right. And when I go to bed at night, I ask myself the question, how much money did I make today? Most people avoid television unless it's the news or financial. Yes. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I ask myself the question every time I go to bed at night, hey, Walter, how much money did you make today? When I ask myself that question, it doesn't mean that I got money that physically came in my hand today. No. That means, when I ask myself that question, that means, what did I do today to make some money? Whether the money will come tomorrow or 3 weeks from now or a month from now for the efforts that I did today. You understand? So when I go to bed tonight, I'm going to ask myself the question, did you make any money today? Meaning, whatever I did today, will it reap any type of benefit for me 30 days from now? Whatsoever a man sow, that's what he shall reap. Wealthy people keep track of their money. Come on, Chuck says we have to stop just working for our money and instead let your money work. Chuck, you in my notes, Doc? You in my notes? Amber said, leave me alone, object. Yep, I got a chart to track my various sources. Come on, that's it. But Chuck, you said something right there. We have to stop just working for our money and instead let your money work for you. That's it right there, okay? Money, go to the beginning of this show. Notice I told you what the money does. I want to respect this guy, so I turn him right side up. Notice what the money does for mankind, okay? My father did something really strange when I was a little boy. He told me to go to the store. I wish I had my money out. He told me to go to the store, and I went to the store. He gave me some money. And I went to the store, and then the clerk gave me my change back, and the clerk gave me my change back like this. Y'all know, if you're African American, you know what that's all about. The clerk did this. So I put it in my pocket. Thank you, Mr. Clark? I got whatever my daddy needed, and I went home. And my daddy said, you got change? I said, here, Daddy. And my father said, what are you doing? What do the people act? Come on, come on. He said, what are you doing? I said, it's the change. He said, take that back. Give me that money. Go give me a belt. I said, what? He said, that's not how you handle money. Now give me that money, son. Oh, then I got it. I did this. He said, take that money back. Give me that money. I thought it was wrinkled, so I started doing this. He said, take that money back. I'm like, I'm confused. I'm confused. And this is my father. I was a little boy. He says, count that money out to me. Oh, 1, 2, 3. He said, take that money back. He said, look at the faces on the money. He said, now fix the faces. You see that? He said, turn it around. See that one? Is that right? Good. Now, give me the money. 1. I said, this don't make no sense. This is crazy. This don't make no sense, Pitts. No sense. What was he teaching me, y'all? Can y'all put in the comments what was he teaching me? Because then he asked me the question, did the clerk count this money out to you? I said, no. He said, how did he give you the money? I said, he said, let's go up to the store. Sure enough, he said, let's go to the store. My daddy boy, he ain't play no game. That man ain't play no game. We went to the store, and clerk did the same thing, and my father shoved the money back to him. He says, I gave you the money in your hand, didn't I? Yes, sir. He says, give me the money back in my hand. I'm telling you. Thank you, Amber. Respect for money. Respect for money. All faces go in the same direction. Yes. Come on, y'all. There's a spirit behind this, y'all. My daddy was teaching me order. Everybody say order. The order of money. Come on, y'all. Yep. Trading forex is what the banks do to you, to stay open. Yeah. Respect for your hard-earned money. Yes. We must begin to create streams of. So my daddy was teaching me the order of money. Good to see you, Paul Rogers. That's my cousin right there. All right. So he says, you see all these faces? He says, this is called denomination. And money, you respect money, it'll respect you. Order. He says, order follows me everywhere I go. And my father always had a thick wallet. His wallet was that thick. You know, like your uncle John. His wallet was always thick. Everything, baby boomers put everything in their wallet if they had got. The lesson is respect. Number 2, order. Number 3, how not to get cheated. Come on, Pitts, come on. And he took out a wad of money. He said, Walter, look at my money. Notice how all the president's faces look. He said, notice my money ain't wrinkled. He said, I ironed them. I ironed that sucker. Yep. He said, and I put it in my wallet real carefully, real crisp and clean. You respect money, and money will respect you. I said, boy, it made no sense. I thought it was witchcraft. It made no sense till I got older, and I began to do what my father taught me. And money has been respecting me ever since. My father had to teach that even on giving offering. Johnny Lingo, yes, come on, man. That's exactly it. All right. So when you let money know who's the boss, though, money will respect you. Money got to know that you are the boss, and you both are respecting each other. You're like, what do you mean? I don't understand. If you ain't understand that by now, then you needed this class. I'm doing this for free. All right. So what's happening here is finding out what money is. That may seem elementary, don't it? What is money? That's elementary. You can't answer it. Some of you can't answer what money is. How powerful money is, you can't answer it. But the ones who are out there making it, they always got one leg over you because they understand the the economy is. You can't even spell economy. Let me get my wife in here. All right. So, money will make money for you. How does it do that? It's called percentage. It's called the bottom line. Okay. We already talked about respect, but it's also called patience. Okay. You can't force money to do stuff for you when it has not matured yet. Patience is always a part of it. Patience is always a part of it. Money ain't matured yet, so you just got saved, and then they put you on the front line and got you out there witnessing in the bar, in the club. All right, you just got saved. You ain't ready for that, because of evil communication will corrupt good manners, and then before you know it, you stripping too. All right, no, money is the same way. It ain't matured yet. Money answers all things, and love. Yeah, I said that earlier, Pitts. All right, so be careful. So, how do my money work for me? My parents taught me, save more than you spend. Come on. How does my money work for me? Number one, have you an emergency fund. Number one, you respect the money that comes in by taking parts of it and putting it away. Every dime, every dollar I get, I try to figure out how much of this can I put away. Not how much of this can I spend. It's all about psychology. You don't need the new dress. You don't need the new Nike shoes. You don't need the new iPhone. You don't need the new gadget. You don't need none of that stuff. The marketers know how you operate, and that's why you stay poor. You have a poor mentality. I got big screen in my house. And the bank gave me this house with no money down, and the house cost $300,000. Yes, that's why we had that financial crisis in 2008, because you are a subpar. Yes, they profiled you. And then it ballooned out of control, and then your friends lost their houses and their cars and all that because you don't understand the economy. You understand what I'm saying? So every dollar that comes in, when you get your check, you pull a percentage of that check out of there. I ain't talking about no tithes and no offerings for churches and all that. No, you pull that money out for yourself. As a matter of fact, if you teach in tithing, the tithing system, one of the systems of tithing is tithing to you first. I don't think y'all getting it. And that. Shut up. Okay? Tithe to yourself first. So you pull that money out of your check, put your money away. You are the God over that money. All right? So you tithe to yourself. Put that money away. That's your emergency money. You understand what I'm saying? And then what I suggest you do is get you several bank accounts at your bank. There should be an expense accounts at your bank. Operate like an LLC, LTD, okay, limited, okay, or LLC, or S corporation, or any kind of corporation. Operate like a business and open you up a couple of accounts at your bank. One is for housing. One could be for your car. The other one is for savings. The other one is for investments. That's how wealthy people have their bank accounts made out. Okay, they have the savings, then they have the checkings. All right, you should have several accounts. All right, and you put that money in those particular places. Have a tax account. You should have a tax account. Have a tax account at your bank. I'm trying to tell y'all, yep, come on the pie chart. That's it. I learned that. First, I learned it from a black man called Odell Hicks. I worked for a CPA firm downtown, prestigious firm, and they taught me how to allocate that money. I was doing the books for Herald in Washington, here in Chicago, right? That firm that I worked for, I didn't do the books, but the firm was doing the books for the mayor of the city at that time, and they hired me. Dorothy Brown hired me, and I saw the books of wealthy men and women in corporation. They all came on my desk because I had to take that money, the financial statements, and implement them in the computer. At that time, I had graduated from Taylor Business Institute under a class called computerized accounting. All right, and I would get all of the financial statements, and I would have to implement that in this new system called a computer. Okay, all right, IBM computer. And I'm looking at all this money these people are making. These are African Americans. All right, these were not just all white folks. These were African American clients, and they were making a killing. And many of the African American corporations here, from Johnson and Johnson until a lot of these corporations were their businesses were at that CPA firm. And I had privy to all of that, and I was noticing he got a bank account for this, a bank account for that, a bank account for this. And I'm like, wow, why aren't I operating in my home like that? And then I got it. Yep, my daughter has a savings account too, and she hides money in her room. Come on, Jasmine. Don't even put all your eggs in one. Yes, don't do it. Come on. That's it. That's what we're doing. We're putting everything in one bucket, and then if the crash comes, you lose everything. Don't do it. If your money's in the bank, you're safe because the Federal Deposit Insurance will take care of you unless you got over $250,000. I don't know if y'all do. Can I get a loan? Your bank is secure. You're covered. So don't worry about if a bank fail. Don't worry. The federal government will cover it. So get you several accounts and allocate that money, and leave it alone. All right? Because the average American don't have enough saved for 2 months. They don't have it. So if a catastrophe happened, many people will go broke and go hungry. They will lose everything. Some of us are living from check to check, which means you're one paycheck away from losing your house and your car. Some of you are one paycheck away. That's sad. That's bad. That's dangerous. It's dangerous. Why? Because you was not pulling that money away, sacrificing, cutting your cable, cutting this. You don't need some of the things you're wasting money on. Just go without it. Downsize. Get you a small apartment. Get you, you ain't got a whole bunch of kids and all that stuff. You don't need the big house right now. Just get you a studio apartment and spend 1 year building up your wealth. Just spend 1 year doing that. But your mouth is watering because you see that your friends got things, and then you're trying to be the neighbor next door. You're going to find yourself in poverty. This generation will live in today has no respect. Will live in today has no respect for money. Their relationships with it is disrespectful and adversarial. Whew, I can't see this. And when it enters into their presence, in return, disrespects, disobeys, leaves them wanting. It's toxic. Abusive marriage. They both fornicators. That's pretty good. That was Amber. This live is such a personal confirmation for me. Nunley, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. You mentioned multiple accounts, but should you use multiple banks for this? Great question, Nunley. Absolutely not. No. Here's the reason. Let me answer that right quick. You'll be surprised how much you can save in 1 year without keeping up with the Joneses Hill. Jasmine, that's it. I put money. I ain't tell y'all where I put it, but I put money away all the time. And 6 months down the road, I go back to and look in that where I put it, and I'm like, oh my God. And then baby girl say, Daddy, I need, and then it's gone. All right, Nunley. Let me answer Nunley. I work with the same bank. I actually work with 2-3 banks. If you got credit cards, coach, you can work with different banks. Okay, I have a relationship with several banks in Chicago, but most of my business is done with one bank, and I have several accounts in that bank. Why? Because I want the relationship with that bank. They know me, and when the chips are down, they know me. You understand? I'm helping their bottom line. You understand? So those several accounts is in that one bank because we have a relationship. We have a business working relationship. And that's what I prefer. But some of the corporations, when I was working for them, they had several different banks. Why? Because the different banks offered different products that worked for them. You see what I'm saying? This bank here, the fee for the checking was too high. So they went to this bank across the street and put their checking in that bank and only kept their savings in this bank. That's the difference. But because I have a working relationship with my bank, if I have these different accounts, then they give me a cut or break on my checking. You get what I'm saying? Wealthy people value relationship. There it is, Pitts. There it is. That's it. And Marcy says, can you do a financial webinar? I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it right now. Okay? Yeah, somebody else said something very... okay, y'all saying some really good stuff. Yes, my father had 4 bank accounts in all different financial institutions. Yeah, that's, I'm trying to tell y'all. Okay? You are my financial advisor. I'm all... all right, Laureline. All right, so I'm helping my daughter. I was telling y'all, this is her business. This is her business plan on this little piece of paper. And we sat here for a couple hours, and we sat down to find out a plan on how she's going to work this plan. All right, she works for a business, and the business that she worked for, she want to do the same thing. I told her 1 year you can do the same thing in just 1 year, but you got to work on it every single day. Patience is the key. Then faith unlocks the door. Now, the reason why money comes in and goes out in my life as a portal, okay, is because I'm always trying to help someone. All right, and so every time I'm trying to help someone, God then He comes in the back door. All right, so my money acts like this. I get money. Sometimes people will bless me. Some people tithe. You know, sometimes they'll say, you know what, I want to tithe to you today because I enjoy your show, blah, blah, blah. And they'll send me something in the PayPal. I'd be like, oh, my God. It's a humbling moment when somebody decides to tithe to you. It's so humbling, you know. You don't know what to do. You're like, God, do I deserve this? And God said, take it. Take it. Okay? So I take it, and then because God knows at that time my bills are due. He also knows that somebody's getting ready to come to me because they have a need. Or they don't have to come to me. I just got word that they have a need. You understand? So what happened? A portal is happening in my life. This person just tithed to me. Boom. Wow, praise God. What can I do with this? Hey, Brother Jones, we in trouble. I said, thank you, God. Hey, don't worry. I got you. Shh. Okay, I funneled it. All right? And then I blessed this person. And then sometimes God will say, don't receive money from them again. Don't receive the payback. That was a blessing to them. That's not a loan. All right? Sometimes God will say, no, get that money back. But He'll say, no, they can't afford to pay you back. Bless them. And if they do get the money and try to give it back to you, tell them to pay it forward. And so many cases I says, you can't afford to pay me back. Pay it forward. You know somebody who need that money. Or sometimes whatever they ask me for, whatever they needed, I tell them just give me half back. And the other half you invested back into rebuilding your empire. That's how wealthy people work. All right. We always need each other. So the Bible says to make sure that you who have, you give to the need. Even in the whole tithing system, God said give to the widows and to the orphans and then the strangers. All right. And then God was blessing the people for giving to those who are in need. Jesus said the poor will be with you always. All right. How come some of the churches don't do financial education? Marcy, is because they don't even sit down and think that they can actually pay off mortgages and do more outreach, do more missions if they do financial seminars. That's the silliness about the church. They don't even realize that they can actually make more in the church house by doing these seminars, but they reject it because there's a mentality of prosperity by just sowing a seed in the church. But yet they keep crying about second offerings and third offerings. All right, it's ridiculous. A lot of that is ignorance, Marcy. It's ignorance. I never seen the righteous forsaken, nor does come on, the seed begging bread. Come on. Yes, prosperity teaching churches have financial planning meetings. Yeah, and most of them are white folks. Most of them are white folks. I was at a church where they offered a Dave Ramsey class at a church that I'm familiar with. They had a Dave Ramsey class, and they asked for the people to raise their hands who want to join the class. The class was free. And they asked for people to raise their hands, and 2 people out of a house full, 2 people raised their hands. And guess what the person had to do? They had to cancel the class because only 2 people wanted to be a part of that class. And this was a black church. But they're going to be on that altar. Help me, God, because we don't have. We don't have. They don't even understand money themselves. They haven't sought God. There it is, Jasmine. That's the answer right there. That's the answer right there. So they don't understand it. So they don't even think to do it. Because they don't think. They think that what they're telling you to do in church is working. But they keep asking for second and third offerings. They keep asking for sacrificial lines. They keep asking for $50 lines. They think it's working, but it's not working if you keep bombarding the people for more money to pay off a utility or a mortgage. It's not working. So what do? Then they figured, well, let's do a program. Let's do something. Let's do a revival all week. Now you burning more lights and more gas at the revival. And the people don't come to revival to give money. They come to revival to be revived. I don't know. Also, it's not in their best interest because they would have to face that 10% versus 90% elephant in the room. That's good, Amber. Yes. Black folk don't want you telling them about their nickels and dimes. Yes, Pitts. That's it. Until it's time for you to prophesy to them, Pitts. Yep. They're too busy praying their bills away. Yes. It kills me how they keep doing stuff that doesn't work. It doesn't work. Meanwhile, I'm at home building up prosperity, and y'all at the church and the prayer line, the $50 line, wishing and hoping for magic things to happen, and I'm at home building it. And the people, I'm gonna say this to y'all, it may be offensive, but I don't care. I've said it several times. The average person who asks me for money is a tithe payer. You understand what I'm saying? The average person who asks me for a loan are tithe payers. So somebody's been lied to. Davida says black folks think poverty is being humble. Right. Most are financially illiterate. Yes. Minds have to be renewed before Come on, Davida, you dropped the bomb. Some church folks are satisfied with being stuck at the financial halfway. Chuck. God have mercy. They're waiting for the window to open. Y'all waiting for the window to open up. Now, I'm not against tithe. I'm against the abuse and the bullying of tithe is what I'm against. I've never been against tithe. You decide to do with your money whatever you want to do. All right? So you could tithe at a church or tithe to a non-for-profit organization, or you could tithe to me. I've never been against tithe. I'm against abuse, and I'm against misinterpretation. I'm against misunderstanding of dispensation. That's what I'm against. All right? God doesn't curse people today for not giving him money. He doesn't. He just don't do that no more. He don't. And it wasn't about money. It was about food. It was never about money. Y'all, we made it money, and we don't even know the etymology. We don't even know the beginning of how this even come to be. We are actually doing Catholic practices. The average black church is doing Catholic practices and don't even know where it come from. That's where it came from. Who instituted or reinstituted the whole tithing system? They did. And we ran with it. I was brought up thinking revivals were for souls. In my late 20s, I found out revivals was another word for fundraising. Lord Jesus. Oh my God, today, $100 line going once. Johnny Lingo, that's it. And if you don't get that 100, they say, okay, $75. They go all the way down to about $10. Some people go down to $5. And then they say, all right, whatever you got, come on up. So the people who were standing there with the $100, they were so proud and bold. I'm standing here with the $100, Pastor. I got you. And he celebrated inside. He celebrated because he's standing there. And then they started calling on $5 people to get in the same line. And he like, I I just could have gave $5 and then had a better self pride. I did a Bible study on tithing and the other 90% because they need to know how to spend. Come on, Tonell. I did that show on the 90% on the whiteboard, I think. And y'all don't want to watch it. Yeah, because 10%, all right, go to God. All right, fine. Nobody's in the church teaching about the 90%. What do I do with the 90% that's left? There's no teaching on that. Not at your church. No teaching on that. That's the problem. All of that opening up of a window and overflowing and shaking down doctrine would have to be addressed. Yes, you're right. Church people act without wisdom. Stop fasting for financial miracles every month and start spending with integrity. Ooh, to the wee. Man, y'all teaching here. Let me stop this because I want to end this by teaching you about passive income. Isn't it funny how they pray special blessings and prophesy to the $75, $100 givers, but only pray a blanket prayer for the I couldn't even read the rest of that. That was hilarious. They tricked them by saying God said there's 100 people with $100. Yes. Okay. I think using words like they paints all churches with a broad brush. Some would be more fitting because there are several churches that don't bombard. And this is true. This is true, Brandon. But if the shoe fits, I speak in broad terms, and the people who they don't apply to, they know it. So I'll still keep saying y'all. All y'all. Yeah, they know. They know it don't feel. Because I watch shows and I watch abusive preaching sermons, what have you, and I'll say to myself, he's saying everybody, but it don't apply to me, so it don't bother me at all. All right? So, many of you are very smart. You're very wise. You're very, very witty. You ain't making no money doing any of that. None whatsoever. Nothing. But you're spending money on others who are doing that. Whether you got cable at home or whether you watch a YouTube video. You're like, I'm not paying for YouTube. Your watching is paying me. Do you understand? Your mere watching. A commercial came at the beginning. Another commercial going to come in the middle of this. Another commercial going to come at the end of this. The mere fact that you're watching, these advertisers are paying YouTube while YouTube pay me for you watching. So it is about you. You understand? So advertisers need you. They need you. I tell them to stop praying to win the lottery. Right? So you part of the reasons why so many of us are able to pay our bills, whether you gave a dime or not. So if that's how the people are operating and living and surviving, why aren't you doing the same? I don't care what you do, whether you're a poet, whether you are a writer, whether you are a musician, whether you are a singer, whether you are a carpenter, everything that you know how to do as a hobby, you can make money at it. As a hobby, there is an audience out there for you. It's called a niche market. Niche or niche, depending on what side of town you're on. There are some people out there who want to buy what you have. So what are you doing about it? After this show, I suggest you start, because Donald J. to the Trump may be reelected. And you think he was undignified? He's going to be more undignified than this right now. And if the Republicans lose and Democrats come in, you're going to get the same thing. When a Democrat get in there, you don't think you're going to get the same thing? Oh, mark my words. The President of the United States can't help you. You got to help yourself. Pull your own self up by the bootstraps. So whatever the President of the United States does to affect the economy, it won't hurt you as much because you build something up for yourself. Black Wall Street was burned down because white folks was jealous that black folks was coming up. So black villages were always burned and destroyed by whites in American history because of jealousy and fear from whites. What do you have in your hands? Come on. God gives power to make what? Davida, if you don't preach this gospel with me, I'm going to send somebody after you. If you don't preach, I make natural skincare products. Your gift will make room. Come on, Jasmine. Come on. Come on. But the listeners who are not in leadership assume that it's all churches. The shoe definitely doesn't fit our church. Are you sticking with this, Brandon Williams? Ain't you? You sticking with that point, aren't you? I don't care what they assume. This is tough love right here. And sometimes when you throw something at a crowd, you're gonna hit an innocent person. Yeah. God punished a whole nation for the acts of one person. I know you're like, so you calling yourself God? All right. So get to writing, get to selling. You want to know how to do it? I can help you. You know, you got a product. Again, it's really simple arithmetic. You got Google.com is your world of knowledge right there. Google and YouTube is a world of knowledge. Matter of fact, who owns YouTube? Let me give y'all an easy tip. There are 3 search engines on the computer. There are 3 search engines that will give you the answer to all your problems. Just 3 search engines. All right. One is owned by the other. So it's almost like it's 2, but use all 3. Okay? The first one is Google. You want to know what to write about? What poetry about? How to sell your product, your skincare product, whatever, how to perfect it, what type of website to build, what type of autoresponder to use, okay? What kind of ClickBank to use, or should I use PayPal, or should I go use Squarespace or Wix websites? What's the best time to post my videos, my commercial? How much is this? All that. You go to Google.com. And the second one is YouTube. What's the difference between the two? Well, not too much of a difference other than Google owning YouTube. YouTube is the guy on the video showing you how. Everything I just said. He's showing you how. Okay? And the third biggest place to find out how to do stuff is on Amazon.com. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? Now, that's all free stuff. Then you want to pay for information, go to Skillshare.com. Go to Udemy.com. Go to Teachable.com. You understand? And there's another one there that I can't think of. It'll come to me. You go to those, and then you pay a monthly fee, a small little fee, and everything you need to know about your business, thousands of videos are out there for you for 3 cups of coffee. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? It's out there for you. There's no excuse for nobody on here to be working this hard trying to impress people and you ain't getting no money for it. Nobody's paying you for it. You ain't getting no money for this. This makes no sense. I have people who got large YouTube channels. Look, Brett Jones, 30,000 people watch my video. I'm like, wow, man, that's great. Quick question. Yeah. You trending, ain't you? I'm trending. By this time, it'll be 40,000 people. Great job. I just got one question. What y'all think I'm getting ready to ask him? Huh? What y'all think I'm getting ready to ask him? I just got one question. Yeah, Brett Jones, what's your question? Harry ask it, because I got to go back and get my videos back up to 50,000 maybe by the end of the week. Okay, one question. Yes. How many of these you made? What do you mean, Elder Jones? You said Amber said, you said you almost 50,000 views. They have 50,000. How many of these did you make when at 50,000? Oh, I didn't make any. Takoa, it's good to see you. You didn't make any money? Wait a minute, hold up. You trended. You got almost 50,000 views. And you put all that work in talking or doing some dance or creating some beat on your instrument, and you ain't make not $1? You ain't even asked for no money on the video, did you? You ain't got no Patreon account. You didn't tell YouTube to put you in that. Well, I can't because I ain't got 1,000 subscribers yet. So and you don't have no ad up and up. No, bro, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. Not one bits. Not $1. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. and they walk away. You know how the rich man was telling Jesus he wanted to know how to get in, and Jesus was like, sell everything. And the Bible says the rich man walked away because he had a whole lot. He had much. So the person who had 50,000 views, when I got through with him, he walked away. He walked away because he had much. He had much views, but he ain't got no money. I'm like, I'm not impressed. You ain't made no money today, and you ain't gonna make no money this whole year because you focusing on big numbers. But let me tell you something. It's the 80-20 rule. Walked away cussing. It's the 80-20 rule. 20% of the people who follow the Sirwalterj show do 80% of the work. If love can make money from smacking on seafood. Yes, smacking on seafood. That woman is smacking on seafood. Everybody watching her, it's just nasty. But every month, YouTube send her a ching-ching. It's crazy. So I'm like, you got all these views. You ain't making no money. Walk away from me. You're not impressing me at all. At all. Whenever I do a video, you best believe at the end of the month, even if it's $10, that's $10 I made that you didn't make. It's sad. So the reason why I'm coming on here is to rebuke y'all. I'm going to rebuke you. Because there's no excuse from this moment on, from this day forward, that 1 year from now, y'all come to me and saying, how do you do this and how do you do that? No, I'm going to ignore you. And they're they buying her sauce on how to slob on seafood. It makes no sense. All right? So please, people, come out of Lodibar, the spirit of poverty. Break that thing. Break the cycle. And stop running to prophets and people to lay hands on you and pour oil on you and intercede on your behalf and all this stuff when all you had to do was go home, sit at your table, and write out a plan, write the vision, and make it plain. That's all you have to do. And then execute that vision by using today's technology. Don't use yesterday's technology. Use today's technology. You understand what I'm saying? And then every day, work your plan. Work it. Be patient. You waited this long, you might as well wait longer. Work your plan, and watch what happens. You're going to see yourself, wow, I got my first dollar. Do y'all not understand how beautiful it feels to get your first dollar for you doing something that you love doing? Amber said, GoFundMe. GoFundMe page. Please, no more GoFundMe pages. I don't think y'all understand how embarrassing some of y'all's GoFundMe pages are. If the house burned down, that's different. But for losing stuff because you were lazy, that's embarrassing. Number 2, somebody died in your family. I'm talking about somebody of prominence, and y'all got to do a GoFundMe to bury that person. That's embarrassing. When you got to do a GoFundMe or fundraisers at the funeral, that's embarrassing. Now somebody said, well, they're too old, too sick to get insurance. But they got 5 kids. They got 5 able children. Number 1. Number 2, they knew that their mom and daddy was sick. Their mom and dad had been sick for a long time. They knew they couldn't get insurance. You got 5 able children. You been telling me these 5 able children didn't sit down and meet and realize that mom and daddy gonna die one day. They can't get insurance, so we got to put money away to bury them. No, you didn't think that? And now at the funeral, you got to ask me for money. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Y'all need, let's come out of obscurity into greatness. Come on. She always preaching. Yes, because everybody been keeping up with the Joneses. Jasmine, I kind of like you. They sell pork chop sandwiches in Florida when people die. Uh-oh, Pitts about to cuss. That means I got to shut this down. Because when she get to cussing, my God. All right? So how do I sum all this up in 30 seconds? Well, I can't. But I will say, write the vision, execute it. Go to church to worship. Hear me. Don't go to church for financial tips. Okay. Sorry, I have to say this. Because I've been here on here an hour and 38 minutes. It's too long for a midday connection. All right. Don't go to church on Sunday for financial tips. You will lose. You understand? You will lose. Okay? Don't do it. Go to church for worship. Mine house shall be the house of prayer, is what God says. All right? Not of money changers. All right? We may have to give some money to keep the lights on. Some of you can give online. All right? But the church should not be spending a lot of time raising money for prosperity and all that. You shouldn't be spending all that time. You should spend time for praying and worshiping and hearing the word of God. That's what coming together is for. All right? The Apostle Paul came to Corinthian, wrote a letter to the Corinthian church, and he collected the money. Watch this. They had collected it already. So when he got there, he just grabbed the bag. Okay? And what did he do with the bag? They was raising money to help another ministry out. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Okay? They was raising money to help another ministry out. Mm-hmm. And they did all that money raising, so they did all that on the side, and then they just continued in their worship. Get it? Now, so, Brother Jones, where do I get my financial pep talk? Well, number 1, I just gave it to you. Number 2, turn on Fox Business, turn on CNBC, turn on Bloomberg Report. All right? Go on all of the financial websites. All right? You have an advantage that your parents didn't have. All right? Go to Google and look at all of the financial websites. Go to all those websites that you said. All right? And then on Sunday, just worship God. Understand? And you, my friend, you're going to be all right. Then wealth will overtake you. Now, God's arithmetic works this way. He says, you who give to the poor, you're lending to God. That's why the children of the world are wiser. That's it, Burns. You, because it doesn't make any sense. How are people who are in church poor and the people in the world are well off? And many of them don't even know God. How is that possible? It's not that they're doing something ungodly. Matter of fact, the Bible alludes to them doing godly things to get wealth. Do you know what I'm saying? Most wealthy people who I've seen online and polled on stuff like that, they actually give to the poor. That's why they continue to be wealthy, because this sowing and reaping don't just work for people who are saved. It's something that God has given to mankind, no matter who they are. Sowing and reaping applies to mankind, period. Whether they're saved or unsaved. They could be atheists, and still this thing operates on the earth. It's like air. You don't have to be saved in order to benefit from air. God gave air to all men. He gave life to all men. He reigns on the just as well as the unjust. So the system of sowing and reaping applies to all men. So the world is using that system, and the church is not. It's kingdom principles. They're doing the principles of the Bible. So the Bible talks about you. The children of the world is doing things of the children of the light. You see what I'm saying? So it makes no sense. So go home and learn financial stability. Go home. And then give to the poor. And that's why the funnel in my house keeps doing this, because I give to the poor, and then God knows my bills are coming up, and then he says, here. Why he keeps giving to me? Because I keep taking care of God's people. And then in return, sometimes the world takes care of me. Yeah, because the wealth of the wicked is what? Gotta go, y'all. When they close the book, that means it's time for the sermon to be over. If you want to give to me so I can give to the poor, go to my CashApp. Yeah, I'm bold enough to ask. Sirwalterj. Right? Yeah, I think that's my CashApp. Yeah. Sirwalterj is my CashApp. Or you can go to PayPal. Sirwalterj. Yep. At AOL.com. Yeah, and there I am. It's in the description below if you're on YouTube. There it is. All right? What am I going to do with the money? I'm going to porter it to someone in need. Praise the Lord. Pass the ammunition. Get the book. This right here will bless you. And financial stability, some of it's back here. Believe it or not, I actually added some of the strength of what I said in the back of this book. I did. My timekeeper said I got to go. Love y'all. I already had lunch, so I got a meeting that I'm late for. I love y'all. And Alexa, say good night.
Good night. Sleep tight.
I want to make sure what time it was. It's nighttime right now. Yes. Thank you. I'll be back. Thank you, Jasmine. I appreciate you preaching. You preached the gospel today. I should pay you whatever they give me. I'm gonna pay you respect. Gotta go. Love y'all. There's one left. I ain't got enough for about 2 shows. This show and maybe tomorrow's show. That's all I got left. Alms.